First of all, thank you so much for your time and welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Ash, and great to connect with you over there in Berlin, Germany.
Yes, yes, Berlin, Germany. Like we're talking about, I think you should visit it. It's a beautiful place to be, and I like it. The vibe is nicer.
That's very great. How did you first get interested in ultra running yourself?
Last year I did the Berlin Marathon, and I was talking to one of my Instagram friends, Angus, and I told him, dude, and he does like 100 miler stuff, and he really inspired me. And I was talking to him, and I said, I want to do ultra marathon. And then I told him I'll do it after Berlin, but we never got back to it. But then once I started doing the podcast again, and I talked to so many ultra runners, and ever since it's like hearing the story, how it is, the community is nicer, and the way we like all nobody gives up, right? Because it's not about time, it's about the journey, and that kind of stuck with me because whenever I did my marathons, I was so focused on time, and was not enjoying it because sub 5, sub 4, sub 330, and I was always so focused on running faster, and it felt like a job. Like all the runs I did was like, oh my god, I have to run at this speed. And once I started this training block for my auto marathon, which is in 5 days, I found out that it's so much nicer. I don't have to worry about time. I never looked at my split anymore. I was just enjoying. I was walking on the hills. I was listening to the birds because I ran without headphones and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, this feels so nice. So, and I registered for the 100K next year. So now I'm like all in. Now I'm just like, I like this, the way I feel it. So now I love running. Before it was
Mm.
just like, it was tough.
That's so good, great that you discovered this part of running and you're getting that type of enjoyment. Like that's really powerful for people because it has like a staying effect. You know, you're more likely to like stick with it for a long time and get more from it, like the all the positive like sort of reinforcement, and it's sort of like therapeutic, you could say, for sure, right? Yeah. Now 5 days, your first ultras in 5 days.
Yes, and
That's
it has not.
exciting. What are you running? What's the distance? And what's the event?
It is a Monsau auto marathon. It's near the Belgium border here in Germany. So it's a 56K, 1,000 meter of elevation around that. And I heard it's challenging. So I'm kind of nervous because I've never done a lot of hills. And leading up to the
Yeah.
training, I was doing a lot of hills. But then
You're gonna
I've
have to
been
back up. How much elevation does it have?
thousand meters. It's not a lot,
A
but that's
thousand
about
meters. So 3,000 feet, 1,000 meters, and it's
six.
56K. 56K. Yeah, that's a good amount of climbing for 56K. It'll be nice. Like that. It's not. That's not like. That's actually like a reasonable amount. It's not like a total heart crushing. Yeah, I think you're gonna enjoy it. And like you said, you know, the thing about the hills is just to like, especially with this one, just walk up the hills and jog down, like run down the backside, you know, and you just enjoy like the people you're gonna meet and the atmosphere. That's pretty neat. Like, so it's right on the near the border with Belgium too.
Yes,
Yeah,
little bit of course goes to the Belgium, and the last part just comes back to Germany. So
that's so great. That's so great. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
it is. I'm nervous
Yeah,
too, but I made up my mind that I will finish it if I have to walk,
yeah.
how the distance I'm gonna do it. But so I'm
I think
excited
one
and
other
nervous.
goal you should have is you should have a goal that you gotta find at least one participant that you're gonna interview for your podcast for the next time. So like that'll make it very interesting.
Yes,
Yeah. So like you have a goal of trying to find one person you're gonna interview there.
that would be nice. Yep, yep.
Yeah, I
That's
think
yeah.
so.
I'll try to get somebody from there and see.
Yeah,
And
I think so because then it would be really cool because you guys can both reflect on your experience there. Plus, you'll meet like somebody that you total stranger. I mean, they might be from Belgium, they might be from Germany, they might be from somewhere else in Europe, And that's one of the best things about the ultra running is like it's a community, a worldwide community where you can like connect with people in every country on the planet. Just about. I think that we're getting close to ultras in almost every country, so it's pretty impressive, and I think you'll enjoy that aspect.
Yes, I think, and I found that people are much open to talk to too. Like we're
Yeah,
talking to, so that just shows how everybody is in the Romney, like in this
yeah,
community. And I've spoken to a lot of water runners, even when I'm reaching out saying, "Hey, do you want to do a podcast?" And everybody is nice, and it's really good. I think the community is nicer.
that's great. Well, it's great to connect with you today, and I know you had some
Questions.
yeah, a bunch of different questions, but we won't be able to hit them all because of our time limits. But I know that some great ones I'd love to chat with you about.
Yes, definitely. And I think the first question is you have done Badwater 16 times, right? You have finished 16 times.
Actually, 14, 14
14.
times.
Okay.
Yeah, 14 times. No worries.
So
Yeah.
why is the reason that you keep going back to it?
Well, Badwater, I like with running ultras, I do like returning to a couple ultras every year that I do every year. And then I like always finding new ultras that I go to and complete every year that are totally different. And I like that because uh, one is like it kind of you're kind of connected with a community with that ultra. I mean, based on where people live, they might find an ultra that's close to their home or closer to home that they go back to every year, and it's kind of neat to like connect with the people there. But for me, it's like an annual pilgrimage, and I feel like Death Valley is one of those extraordinary places on the planet that just has a wildness to it in terms of the environment being that it looks something like a foreign otherworldly planet, and its temperatures over 120. The mountains, the Sierra Nevada mountains, going from the lowest point in the Western Hemisphere to the highest mountain in the lower 48. It's just somewhere that also connects me back to my earlier self as an ultra runner too. I have many good memories out there, so like going back out to that, it just kind of rekindled my spirit to it happens in July, so it reignites me for the whole year forward. And like when I'm busy at work with teaching later in the year, I can like think back to those really amazing places. If I need to like take a time out with my mind and like rebalance myself. So it's a place that is stunning beauty, and the races are super well organized, and it just brings that like spirit out, and that's what draws me back every year.
I was talking with Jessie. She also did Badwater, and I told you I was gonna interview you, and she said we should. She said that she will show you the much nicer trailer because she heard that you said it's a very nice trailer and it's a very nice thing, whatever. And she's like, I need to take Harvey and show him. There are much nicer race than that was because it's one of the toughest, like you mentioned, and it's brutal heat, July. What has been the best memory for you?
Are you talking about Victoria Brown, or who are
No,
you speaking about?
I'm talking about JC Morton Lanchau.
Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah. Honestly, like it's I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I mean, to one person, something that's absolutely stunning. If they don't like the heat, they're not gonna like that place. And for me, it's like it's very interesting going out to Death Valley. Like it's a place that draws in a lot of Europeans in the summertime, and there's not a lot of Americans there. But a good memory of mine would be really like I guess well, last year when I was like not I had staked out like at about mile 100, and maybe it was around mile 100, and 15 or something like that. And what that means is I took a pause in the race. You're permitted to do that. And I only did that twice in those 14 years. And I was just struggling. So I just like went and took a nap and I came back to the race. And when I finished, I was going up the mountain, and the mountain was both like it just is an epic view. Like you've got these giant switchbacks where you're looking out at like maybe you're at 7,000 feet before the portal, and it just it is a colossal feeling. And at that point, I was like, well, I was kind of unsatisfied about myself last year, like not pushing. I didn't feel like I pushed 100%. So I was like, I told my buddy Judd, who was my crew chief, I said, I have something to tell you at the end. We'll see what you think. So I crossed the finish line, and then I told him, I said, well, hey, if you're feeling game for this, I think I'm just going to turn around and run back to the start line. And I just had made up that decision like maybe 5 or 10 miles before the finish line. And so going back, that was really a neat experience too, because I got to see the course from a different like vantage point. You know, for example, like the first mountain when you're in the race at mile 42 is a huge climb up. So going in reverse, I had a huge descent back that place. And then also I landed in Death Valley in the hottest area, really about like 1 to 3 to 5 p.m., which is like actually the hottest time of the day. And when I first started running Badwater back in 2011, we started at 8 to 10 a.m. and ran through the park in the daylight. And now we run in the nighttime, which also has its challenges, and it's beautiful when you have like the moon or you have like an incredible night sky. But that was a whole other experience going through once I was already at like mile 270 and like entering the hottest part at the hottest time of the day. It was just really it was sucking the fluids out of me. So I was drinking like a bottle of fluids, like literally like a half a liter of fluids, like absolutely every mile. Like, and it was unbelievable. I think my body was just very parched at that point. Yeah, so that would definitely be one of those experiences. And this year going back to Badwater, I honestly felt like it was easier in a way because I knew I was only going the 135 versus turning around and coming back. So like that did cross my mind a couple of times.
Cannot
Now
imagine you.
I know we only have about 25 more minutes. So if we want, do you want to hit upon any of those latter themes you had? Want to talk?
Yes, yes. I think one of the question would be you have broken records, right? And you have crossed all of the epic races that you have done. So what is there left for you to prove?
Well, honestly, that's a good question. I don't know if I like look at it to prove, but there's so many things to do. Like the list of like challenges is greater than I have time to chase after them. So I mean, like I think of like so many events I haven't run yet. I mean, like there are so many great ultras now in the world. I mean, when I first started back in like 96, there were probably 5% or fewer of the number of races that we have today. So I mean, just like there are races in America like the Cocodona 250 I haven't ran, like the some of the like the Tahoe 200, Bigfoot 120. I think about that race in Madeira. I've never run that. Uh, Tour de Giants. I've never ran that. There's Angeles Crest that just happened this last weekend. I mean, really, there are so many classics that I still haven't ran, even though I have run a lot of different races. I've run over 100 ultras, but there are so many different races that would be exciting to experience. And as well as like going for an FKT or but for me, like right now, it's like going back to bigs for 2025, the individual world championship. And I won the last two individual world championships in 21 and 25. I'm sorry, 21, 23. Yeah, that's for me is like my number one goal. And that's my focus. But I mean, there's never a shortage of something that would be intriguing to go after. A 6-day race. There's so many like incredible races in the country. Right now I'm in Kentucky, and I went a couple of days ago to an area called Yahoo Falls, and this is actually part of the Yamacraw race and No Business 100, which I didn't even know. But I ran into a guy, Adam Evans, who lives out this way, and he does those races. And he's like, just randomly saw him on the trail, and he's like, Harvey, and he told me about this, and I mean, it's absolutely beautiful there. So I mean, there are a lot of races, even in our own region, that I haven't ran yet, that would be really neat to experience. So, including the one you're doing over there in Germany. So I mean, there are just so many. So there's more things. I could never get bored. If someone says they're bored, something they need to like maybe look a little deeper, because there's so many cool ways that you can go and like explore with ultra running.
You have done, like you said, so many races. If you look at that one particular race, which is the one race that probably makes you think, oh, this looks very interesting? Do you have any race that kind of make you that feel?
Man, like, well, honestly, so many. Like most of the races I've done, like have something that's really pretty interesting about them. From the summer, of course, I did Badwater, and I did the Dead Cow Golly. And Dead Cow Golly is a really neat race that's over in Australia and Queensland. It's basically a backyard ultra, but every other year they make it a Masters event. So it's like it's equivalent to like the biggest event outside of the World Championship for that year. And the race draws in runners from all over the world now, as well as local runners. And it's run in like the country in Australia. So you see like wallabies, and you could see kangaroos. It is a really, really exciting venue. Like the Backyard Ultra is a really neat race because people are basically tied for first each yard, or each 4.167 miles, or it's 6.7 kilometers every hour, and until the last person
Yes.
standing. And it's really nice because you can run with different people every hour, and you get it's kind of like a social event, but also becomes extremely competitive, and it really becomes super fascinating to watch the later the race goes. But then another race I did was in Botswana. Is like a salt pan race last year. That was really extraordinary. But I mean, and I did a 12-hour race on Kilimanjaro in June with the porters. There are so many I can't think of one of the races that really isn't fascinating for one reason or another. They're all some are even more engaging than others, but there are so many amazing races out there to experience.
And you just talked about the Backyard Ultra, and you obviously ran for 108 hours. So you said you want to go back to 2025 event?
Yeah, it's October 18th. It's happening. And that's my focus from now until October 18th is just like focusing on that, and building for the race. It's going to be super competitive. I'm ranked eighth in the world right now in terms of backyard, so I'm an underdog in a way. But I'll be everything in, all in. Anything can happen in the backyard ultra.
Yes. And is your goal to win it? Obviously, that's probably not even a question.
Yeah, it's not even a question. You already know. Yeah.
And you have been running for such a long time, right? And it's probably been most part of your life, because one way or another you are doing so many races involved in different communities, podcasts, teaching, and everything. So the day that you won't be able to run any ultra marathons, then who is Harvey Lewis then?
Well, I've been fortunate to have exposure to a lot of different people of different ages and have really amazing role models. So, yeah, I have one friend who's 103, Mike Fremont, who anyone knows me probably knows, has heard about Mike Fremont. And, he still like gets out. This actually, like 2 days ago, he was out canoeing in a giant canoeing event, the largest in our country, with his wife at 103. So I don't really picture. I hope to not picture the adventures ending, even if it's not like over 26.2 miles. I'll still be getting out and going as far as I humanly can. So that will be true. Then the other thing is, like, I have another buddy who I actually met in my first ultra, going all the way back to 1996, and that's Ed Rousseau. And Ed, we still message. He lives up in a cabin in the North Woods of Minnesota by himself. Um, and he's 85, so he's like Obi-Wan Kenobi living out in the wilderness. But he also still is running 24-hour races. Uh, that's pretty impressive. And not only that, like Bob Becker at 80,
Mm,
like I mean, he
it's
just finished Badwater. So,
yeah.
Bob's very much a great role model. So I mean, yeah, we go through metamorphosis in life, but I hope to still like have the opportunity to be out exploring like one way or another. And even if you cannot go 26 points more than 26.2 miles, the official ultra, like you could, hopefully I'll still be able to get outside and experience nature and do those things that like my buddy Mike Fremont is at 103. That's pretty impressive. He's also vegan and plant-based, and he really has a regimen of doing something active each day. And I feel like there's certainly certain regimens that can help us to further ourselves in terms of how late in life and we can do things. And one of the great ones I heard from an Austrian just a couple weeks back, we were running together, and he's like, age is a lifestyle choice. That's not like 100% always the case, but I do feel like there's a real truth to that. Like, I meet people who are much younger than I am that feel limited by age. And I can see, when I was a young kid, like actually a teenager, and before that, I was a chunky kid. I was like chunking Goonies. And I had a lot of, my health is way better now than it ever was, even as in 20 or younger than that. And so yeah, I think that you can promote and further yourself with good good habits and like have a higher quality life for that.
You have a legacy, right? So everybody knows who Harvey Lewis is. So what
Thank
would
you, Ash.
be
Hey,
what would be one thing that you would tell everybody? And a lot of people are waiting for this episode to be recorded and to be listened. So what would be that one piece of advice that would give to all the aspiring ultra runners? Something from your perspective that you have been running for so long.
oh, I say just keep getting out there, like keep putting yourself out there and take good care of yourself, like your health, like your body is like a Ferrari. We spend a lot of money on our cars in America, like doing all the maintenance, but we not so often, we sometimes neglect our bodies. So definitely listen to our body. And then I say just find the fun in things, like you were saying, like you're excited about, like you enjoy just being out there and being part of nature. This morning on my run, I saw orange newt, which was really cool. I hadn't seen those. I saw one in Ohio, but before that, I hadn't seen them since like the Appalachian Trail. And I love those guys. They're so cool. They're bright orange, and that was really fun to see. And I also saw a fox, that was like running with the chicken. That was an experience in the morning run. And so I mean, it's cool to just experience that and running up and down hills. That it just I feel invigorated for the rest of the day. So I think that getting out there, it also is kind of it's fun to sign up for an event. I like to personally like ideally I mean I oftentimes do more than this, but I think having something out there like 3 to 4 months keeps you motivated. So it doesn't have to be some giant event, but I think it's great to like have some sort of carrot out there to motivate you to be consistent, because if you didn't have a motivation, it might be easier to fall off from like being consistent with your running or your fitness and your health. Even I've been eating a little bit too many desserts. We just got back from our Run Quest trip to Portugal, and I take people on running and hiking holidays there each year. And we always have like a very amazing, well catered for dinners and lunches, and they always most of them have amazing desserts too. So not to say that dessert, maybe for most people, dessert is like they need to run and eat dessert. And I just have gone a little crazy on the desserts. So I need to like pull back on the desserts a little bit. But running ultras also gives you opportunity to eat usually an unlimited amount of like desserts to an
Yes,
extent.
yes, they do. I know we are running out of time, so I just want to ask you two questions. I asked everybody this. So the first question is, why do you run?
Well, I run to keep up with my dog Carly, who's like getting ready to like she's ready to go running right now. But I definitely run for like the connection with people. I mean the nature. Those are just amazing. I can't get that experience and duplicate that in any other way. So those are my motivations.
And the final question is, I would like you to finish this sentence for me, please. Running has changed my life because.
Sure. Running has changed my life because of all the amazing people I've met through it. So I've met a lot of really incredible people through running who have had a positive influence on my life, and that's been amazing.
Awesome. All right, and I really appreciate you taking your time and doing this podcast with me. And I wish you good luck. And I'm keeping watch on that. You're gonna break your own record and then maybe break so many records in your backyard ultra. So I wish you the best and thank you so much.
Thank you, Ash, and I wish you the best in your race in 5 days. That's going to be such a cool experience.
Yes, thank you so much. Finger
Yeah,
crossed.
go get it. Go get it. Let me know how it goes.
Yes, we'll do. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Hey everyone, thank you for making it to the end of the podcast. I hope you really enjoyed this conversation. I'll see you again next time with another guest. Until then, happy running.